It's 10 o'clock. Time to get started for the 2021 annual meeting here at Sandy Pines. So, excuse me. A couple of agenda items. One, we'll do welcome to everybody here. Thank you for taking the time on your Saturday. We'll go through a park update. I'll provide the park update with some things that we've done well, some things that we still need to do, give you some highlights by department. And then from there we'll have board of director comments, and then we'll open it up for Q&A for members. We've got a microphone up here. When we go to member Q&A, feel free to walk up to the mic and present any question to the board, myself. We have staff sitting up here, and then we'll wrap it up here. We'll try to keep it to an hour. I know it's a little hot and sticky in August day, but again, thank everybody for coming out. One last reminder: after we're done here, if you haven't voted, we still have the polling station open at the North Shore Center, lower level. So make certain that you get out and vote. We have 3 3-year term spots open, and then 1 1-year term. We do have 4 candidates, but your votes count, and I want to make certain that everybody's got the opportunity to vote in who they want to see on the board for the terms that are open. Okay? Sound like a plan? You guys awake?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, happy 50th. Did everybody enjoy the 50th? We're starting to wind down a little bit. Yeah? Good events? Okay. All right. Anybody go to Food Truck and Tunes last weekend? Okay. Good. Yeah. Brian? I think Brian started Thursday instead of...
I did.
Yeah.
I was sad on Sunday morning when I realized there was no concert that night.
Right.
There was a concert.
There was a concert. The Collinsworth family concert. Don't tell Dave that.
It was a little bit different dancing though.
Right. Again, for those of you that still may not know me after a year of COVID and coming out this season, we've got a lot more people in the park this year. My name is Jeff Schweitzer, park president, and honored to continue to lead the operations team and work with a phenomenal board here, and work with the members and get to know everybody and run this beautiful park. We're blessed to have a great park here at Sandy Pines. The board, again, I'd like to thank them. We have a strong board, great leadership. They support the members of the park. They definitely support the staff, and they've been a great resource for me to lean on as I continue to learn through the process here at Sandy Pines. So thank you for all the support from the board. Greatly appreciate it. Again, mentioned the openings for board members that we're voting on this weekend. Brian Elling is rotating off this year, so thank you, Brian, for the 3 years. And with that, we have a recognition gift for you. So thank you again for your leadership and your time on the board. It's been a great resource as well to bounce things off of. But Brian is not going too far. He's also going to be on our pool committee. So Brian has some great insights for the pool committee and helping us out there. So Brian, thank you again. We have a lot of new staff. Some of them are here today. Some of them are still working throughout the park. Let's see, we have Ian Mitchell in communications. Ian's new this year.
Hello,
Jamie Bogoma from HR. She's not here today, but you may see her bouncing around the park. Jamie's done a great job going into the different departments, making certain staff is taken care of. We're trying to get staffing levels appropriate to the needs of the park and the members. So you may see her. She's open door policy. If you got any questions on staffing or anything of that nature, Jamie loves to engage with the members. Let's see, we have Abby from Member Service. She's up front. She's new. Welcome, Abby. Nicole Kling, she's also new up in Member Service. She's not here today, but stop in and see her. You'll probably recognize Nicole. We pick on her a little bit. She's a little vertically challenged, and she loves pointing that out to people. So, Liz Robbins in sales. You may have seen we've kind of restructured the sales team. Go spend some time with Liz. She's doing a good job leading that group. We have Gary. Everybody knows Gary from the golf course. Hi, Gary. Ben Pafelski. His team is the team, obviously, that keeps this park looking beautiful. So Ben, under his leadership, this park is looking good. And then Nikki from Rec. So, and then obviously we have Kimberly, our CFO, who makes certain that we are definitely financially sound and in a good spot from a financial standpoint. I know Dave's not here, but I know obviously Dennis King does a lot with the chapel, so we'd like to thank the chapel committee for letting us use the chapel. This is, again, a beautiful venue and great overlooking the lake, so thank you to Dennis and the chapel committee. And with that, we can roll into the state of the park. Everybody having a good season this season, a little bit better than last year?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good. The condition of the park remains strong. We've done a lot of work with the finances. Again, under Kimberly's leadership, we've done a great job. Excellent staff. Staff is doing a phenomenal job trying to meet the needs of the members. I know last year we had some challenges. I think we had some pent-up frustration from all the government rules that were kind of forced on all of us. We saw some, I would say, inappropriate interactions between members and staff, and I would say zero issues this year, or at least very limited. So staff is doing an excellent job. Members' interaction with the staff has been great. Again, from a finance standpoint, we've got strong financial balance sheet, financial resources, capital resources are strong. So the financial state of the park is really good. 2021 accomplishments that we want to hit. You're going to see a common theme through here, and I won't apologize because it's, the success of the park is really because of the staff. The staff continues to do a phenomenal job. So we got a great staff. We continue to strengthen them. 50th anniversary celebration. So we introduced a lot of new 50th anniversary events this year. Just a few of them. You know, we did some food trucks and tunes. I know Nikki and Rec, we had some team foam dance parties where we actually had some of the adults wanting to get in on that, which was kind of neat. And if you didn't see that, we had a DJ over in phase 2 with foam cannons, and it was great to see the kids just let loose. All of that was really brought to us by a special 50th committee, 50th anniversary committee. While many of you were away, that committee during the off season met every Wednesday night from 5 to 6:30. So a shout out to that committee. I know Nikki was on it, Kendall, and I always mispronounce her name, so I'll apologize to Kendall in advance. Kendall Baroka, Kelly Simmons, Lisa Britton, and Sue Stang. They led that committee, and a lot of the new 50th events, signages, and things of that nature were brought to us from that committee, so we thank them. We are going to take a look in the off-season and get some feedback from members. We've already got feedback from a bunch of people on, hey, we really liked these events, can we carry them forward? So we'll have to figure it out, you know. We did some lessons learned on some of the budgeting and the costs on that, where we can try and take a look at maybe reducing some of those next year. But we did have a lot of good new events that we brought, and I think next weekend we're gonna end on an old event. I wasn't here for this, but rumor has it, you know, the poker runs were pretty popular here, and so one of our finale events is going to be a poker run down at the golf course and then throughout the park. So another accomplishment that we had was the Fema building was launched. If you remember that, we kicked that off in April. We were sweating a little bit because when we had that timeline originally talked about with you know, the board and the board liaisons, we had December 2020, no problem. And then that little thing, COVID, hit, and then we're like, all right, what's the date on it now? And it moved to January, February, March, and then we finally got it signed off and opened up right before April 15, right before we opened up the season. So, but first and foremost, you know, that thing is used for the safety for the membership during storms. But we've had great feedback. We have committees that are meeting there. The boardroom is there. We have technology now with the TVs in the rooms. We have activity rooms downstairs. The new library is down there. I know Dave Van Orden and I talked about, rather than having two separate libraries, we moved the chapel library into the Fema building, and just a ton of good feedback on the Fema building. One area of improvement, and one thing that we continue to challenge the team with, and I know the board continues to challenge me with, is areas of improvement. Don't settle on what you've done. Acoustics is a little bit of a challenge in that building, so we're going to take a look at, you know, we'll hear it in the board meetings when they're recorded. Again, first and foremost, it's a storm shelter, but with some of those meetings that we hold there, we're going to try and do a better job for acoustics. Let's see. Lake improvements. Lake Study Committee came to the board last year, last September, and provided some recommendations. Stephanie was the chairperson at the time, and then she became a board member. Paul Peppel was our board liaison, and there was a list of 9 or 10 items that the Lake Study Committee asked us to take a look at for our number one asset, which is the lake. You know, we've improved we've hit some of those items on the list. We put new buoys out there to visually tell the boaters where they can and can't go. We did have some small buoys, or a small amount of buoys in the past. When I've seen some of the boats out there, they were using those as actually slaloms, which can be a safety issue. So we put more buoys on the lake, and that kind of created a lane for, you know, the people that don't want to go out in the lake, the kayakers, the paddle boats, paddle boards, things of that nature. We also added and ramped up some of the marine patrol. We need to do, you know, that's still an area of improvement, but we have 2 individuals in public safety that have marine patrol experience. And then also you have probably seen DNR has been out on our lake as well, and Allegheny County has been out on our lake as well. So the patrol has ramped up, so we've done a good job there. And again, we're always looking for safety and you know, lake preservation. What can we do to continue to improve our lake? We have some erosion issues. We have, you know, some lake clarity issues. We're looking forward to the Lake Study Committee providing us with some more recommendations I think next month. Yep, good. We try to address some safety concerns. Again, I took a lot of questions about our pool operations and our pool capacity and safety. And I'll take a step back because I answered many of those questions via email at board meetings. So if you've heard this and it's redundant, I apologize. But one of the first meetings that I had was with Rod Birch and Steve Raymond here, and we had probably 15 things on that list, and I would say the top 6, 7, 8 items was in reference to our pools. Overcrowded, lifeguard ratio to kids in the pool, not meeting the state regulations. So how do we address that? And then through COVID, we said we're going to implement a lineup and a capacity and an hour rotation. We carried that forward today. You know, I know Nikki and a lot of the staff took some grief on that. Number one, that's my decision from an operational standpoint. But two, that decision was made based on what are the state regulations, what is a safe pool, and that was the plan that we came up with. So right now the state says 1 lifeguard to every 20 to 25 people in the pool. Is it in the pool? Is it around the pool? If you're sitting around the pool, somebody goes to get a kid or a friend and they fall in the pool, you still have to count that individual in that count because a lifeguard would have to jump in and save that individual. So we addressed one safety concern at the pools with overcrowding and making certain that our lifeguards can do their jobs. License plates, I know that's a tough topic for some of us here. 2 years ago, license plates, obviously that rule was rolled out. It was voted on and approved. We're sitting probably at 65%-ish. I'm looking at Keith, who I forgot to introduce. He was sitting in the background there. Keith Garland from Public Safety. And so we're about 65%-ish, but again, that was implemented for, you know, identification safety issues. If, you know, somebody's misbehaving, something's going on, the stickers became a challenge to visually identify golf carts. So it was a rule that was passed. You know, the board voted on it, approved. Operations is, you know, making certain that it's being followed. So this is our plug. Monday, you'll get another rave that, hey, we're down to 2 weeks for your license plates to be installed. Following Labor Day, we'll start enforcing the rules that you know, we need to have those license plates on and installed. If they're in the wrong spot, you know, Public Safety will write a repair notice, and then you'll have time to fix them and get them in the right spot. But it's just something that we need to do, and it is for a safety reason. Cart bridge, a lot of discussions on the cart bridge. That project is actually, we're having a site walkthrough here shortly with the construction company. That project will go forward, and we're getting ready to kick that off during the off season here. As soon as we get some finalized drawings and renderings of that, we can start circulating it because we've gone back and forth on some engineering things. How's this thing going to look? How's it going to traverse over the road, things of that nature, and we should have that finalized here and then get some visuals for the members to see. Another accomplishment, public safety presence, you know, back to the community policing, getting into the community. You know, we were locked down last season. This season we've done a better job. We've seen patrols out there. I actually was, should say this, but I was actually pulled over by one of the new guys because I shouldn't say that, should I? So, you know, yes. the challenge of moving all of our meetings from the administration building to the North Shore building, and then you look at your watch and you're like, oh shoot, I'm gonna be late. So yeah, but they're there. They're there. You know, violations. You know, Keith and I reviewed violations earlier this week, last month, and on kind of an annual basis. You can see it in the financials. You know, we've got the people back into monitoring speeds. You know, they're addressing some of the golf cart issues. They're addressing medicals. They're addressing some of the rules that aren't being followed in the park. Now, the other conversation that Keith and I have had is we could triple, quadruple his staff, and this park is, you know, 10,000 people, and that public safety office is still always going to be outnumbered. So back to, I think at our safety and security meeting, it was see something, say something. So from a membership perspective, if you see something that's taking place that shouldn't be taking place, identifying the new license plates, it's easier to do now, and make a call, and public safety will be on it. So presence is back in the park, and we're always looking for improvements, you know, whether it's emergencies, processes, procedures, training, anything like that. So we always look for continuous improvement. Maintenance staff, again, Ben is doing a phenomenal job with the maintenance team. The park looks beautiful, and they're kind of the quiet ones. They're out early in the morning and out throughout the park, and they keep this place running and beautiful for us. You know, through some of Ben's teams and their great talent, they came up with. Anybody see the new street signs that have been popping up? Yeah. What do you guys think of those? It's pretty sweet, right? So we're trying to replace some of the old street signs with some new street signs, and that was a great idea from Ben's team, and we'll continue to do that throughout the season. So that team continues to do a great job. Gary at the golf course. The golf course looks great. We had a long talk in the off season about some specific trees that were damaging my game personally. So Gary and his team did a great job of opening up some of those fairways, taking out some of the dead trees, taking out some of the dead branches. Fairways look good, greens look good, and because of that, and all the hard work he's been doing and his team's been doing, revenue is up about 3 to 5% right now. It'll finish ahead. And last year we had a good year. Golf was one of the only things that was really open during COVID last year, at the beginning. And you know, we had to implement some strange things to get on the golf course last year. And we had a phenomenal season last year, and he's going to be better this year. Anybody seen a new container bridge that goes over the creek? What do you guys think of that? Yeah, I thought that was a great idea as well. Needs a roof. We need a gable. All right, so we'll try and figure out the gable. So no, that was a great idea from one of the contractors that Gary works with, and something new, you know, that we added that I think looks pretty cool. Finance, again, Kimberly and her team. Shannon Dykstra, she was new last season, towards the end of the season, but Kimberly and Shannon have done a great job. Finances, so we continue to accumulate cash reserves, and at the board meeting last night, we kind of rolled out the budget, and there was some talk and some questions about the fees. So again, those fees that we have through the park offset, it's about a 60% gap. So membership dues, and we appreciate it, and we thank all the members that pay the dues. Membership dues cover about 40% of our operating budget for the park. So the other 60% we have to offset. So offset with those fees, whatever they are, that helps continue to run the park. So Kimberly and Shannon have done a great job doing financials and the stability of the park. We continue to see improvements in accounts receivable. That's resulting in additional cash flow in a more timely manner rather than waiting for all of it to come at once. It's been a continuous flow, and that's a testament to the membership as well. We've seen a lot more members this year not wait until, they just continue to pay ahead on their dues. So we thank you for that. That helps improve the cash flow for the organization. Last night, 2021, budget for Lake Monterey Golf Course, the operational budget was voted on and approved. Again, Gary's doing a great job with that. The capital budget was also for Lake Monterey Golf Course voted on and approved. 2021 capital budget for Sandy Pines was voted on and approved. The operations budget, we have some work to do on that yet, and we'll get back in front of the board. That will get voted on next board meeting in September. Again, per our bylaws, we have to have that approved before the next fiscal year. So it's been probably, I know if I talk to Kimberly about this, it's probably been one of the more challenging budgets that either one of us has gone through. But we've continued to communicate to the board and the membership throughout the months. Here's what we're working on with the budget. So we've got another month of work to do, and then we'll bring it forward next month. Other departments that we should probably recognize is sales. 70% of our sales has gone through for sale by owner in the last couple of years that I've seen. This year with the new team that we put in place, that has been reduced to about 60. So 60% is for sale by owner, 40% is through the sales team. And one of the things that we had feedback on last year was the overall experience within the sales department, the sales team needed to be improved. This year, I personally have had 0 complaints from anybody about the sales experience, and feedback from the members that have gone through the sales process. Again, whether it's sales through the park or sale by owner, has had more positive things to say about it this year. So that's good. And camping sales increased almost 19% this year. So we've seen a lot of campers. That's great with the cash flow and things of that nature. Add some challenges to public safety and some other areas in the park with campers, because not all of them know the rules of the park. We do have a lot of returning campers, but not all of them know the rules of the park. So we're going to do a better job of trying to educate the campers as they come in. Camping has been great. Again, recreation. New programs that we're looking at, the Battle GR, laser tag, and the video games at Family Fun Day. Great feedback from teenagers. Teenagers seem to they're kind of in the middle. They try to they're kind of left out at times. So we got to do a better job of pulling the teenagers in. Great feedback from the teenagers on Battle GR. Same with the folk dance party. And then we actually shut down, was it once or twice? Twice? The pool for teenagers, where we just had a team party at the pool, and they loved that. It was great. So we also seen some increased participation in events this season, so that's always a positive. Things we still need to do and get better at. Ian is working with the departments to start sending out some surveys, departmental surveys. We'll put them online. We want your feedback. What have we done well? What do we need to fix? Suggestions, things of that nature. We always want to try and improve. So we'll have some departmental surveys out there. Software. I know this is, again, near to Kimberly's heart. Kimberly and Shannon, when we try to close a month, They physically have to spend probably 4, depending on the month, I would say 4 to 6 hours or more manually entering in general ledger codes because our software doesn't do it for them. So our software is outdated. The kickoff of that software push was in April. We've had weekly meetings with the software company. We're going to roll out Dynamics 365, and that will be throughout all the departments, and that architecture is going to start getting built middle to end of this month. We'll start to get to play around with it in September, October with the staff, and then it's going to launch next year, and this should have improved staff efficiency, better service to the members, and then we're still working on improved entrance into the park. One of the things that bogs Keith's team down is a lot of the administration stuff, guest passes, camping passes. So how can we take some of that off of their plate so they can be out in the park versus community policing? Cable and internet improvements. It's been a challenge. We are limited on what we can get for modems. We have a waiting list for modems. We've tried to address buried cables because we have lines all over the place. Not enough modems. The connectivity. We were talking earlier, I think with Dan over there, we were talking earlier. It is a daily challenge with our staff and Spectrum. We're trying to get everybody the service that they need. Just being transparent, Spectrum doesn't know where to put us. We are, one minute we're in a hospitality, kind of like a hotel. The next minute they want to put us in, well, it's the department that handles dorm rooms. No, you need to go to residential. We signed a 2-year contract with them. We get everything that we need, supposedly, and then in 2 years something else pops up. Well, we need to put you over here. It is a challenge. We recognize the challenge. We're trying to fix it. Be patient with us. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us. 80% of Abby's time up at member service, if not more, is Spectrum. Modems, when I get my modem, my cable's down, I have cords all over the place, when can Spectrum come out and bury them for me? She's spending 80% of her time on Spectrum. So we're trying to fix that one as best as we can. Lake sustainability and safety improvements, we're still working on. Dam updates, the actual dam that we drive over. It's a 50-year-old dam, and so based on the Midland crisis last year, we have some increased focus from state and county. Our dam is good right now. It's in pretty good shape, but we still need to do some things to make certain that it's sustainable. Long-range planning for the park. The park's growing. We're seeing a shift in demographics with different generations coming in, other generations rotating out. It's growing. So where do we want to go 3, 5, 10 years? We're going to have a golf course assessment that's going to be coming up here that we're going to have to put out for vote and renew. Aquatic amenities. That water park right now is not enough for all of the members, all of the campers. I know we have phase 3 over here as well, but we're looking at different aquatic amenities to try and add throughout the park. And again, that's going to be the charter of the pool committee. I'm just grateful, one, to have the staff that we have, the board that we have. Grateful to serve you guys. This is a great place to be. We've had a great relationship with Salem Township, Monterey Township, Allegan County. They continue to, all those local governments continue to support us. We're truly blessed to be where we're at here at Sandy Pines, and that's that's a testament to the leadership here, the members out there, staff. So we're truly blessed to be at a great place. let's see. I think that's about it. I know the staff, myself, and the board continue to thank everybody for their prayers. It's a tough 6 months when you go through here. It's 24/7 for a lot of the staff. It's a great place to be. I would say lastly, we want to end on, let's focus in on the positives that we're blessed to have here. We do hear some negatives. If you have anything that you want to bring to our attention, bring those to our attention respectfully, and provide some recommendations or some solutions as well. That would help us as well. So, that's about all I have. All right. Again, thank you for. Turn it over to the board for some comments. Ellen, if you want to kick that off.
Thank you all for taking some time on this steamy, lovely summer morning to spend some time with us. I want to, first of all, thank all of you for allowing me to serve this community and maintain this position on the board of directors, especially as being the chair has been really an honor. It's also been a challenge. I've had to learn some patience, but I've gotten to work with some really great people. We're going to miss Brian for sure. He's been one of the people that I could go to, but he's going to remain with the pool committee, so that's going to be good. Also, I'm up for election today, and I'm guaranteed a position. I'm assuming 3 years, but if I get one, I'm fine with that too. We have really been trying to challenge ourselves as a board to work together to preserve the assets of this park and protect the assets of this park and keep them safe. And one of our biggest assets, of course, is our lake, but also our membership. So we really appreciate your patience and your following rules and your making suggestions. It's been a great year. I was on the Fema committee. I was liaison for the 50th. We've done a great job putting, events together. We've done a better job for the teams, trying to get them included, get them off the golf carts. I think they like having events that are just for them. They don't want to be commingled with 5-year-olds. So that's been, a really good learning experience. I've also been very happy that we've had more volunteers and people joining committees. We launched a library committee. We have that beautiful new room in the FEMA building, the North Shore Center. So we're trying to support them and help them better, provide more recreational activities. The pool committee is looking at that too, as Jeff said. We're looking at different aquatic amenities, but we've also had some other things come up, that might be a great addition to this park. So, and I do want to thank all of you, and I want to thank the board. Dennis, do you have any comments? Where did you go? He's back there. Dennis is working double duty. He does sound for the chapel, so he's doing sound for us. Dennis, do you have anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Brian?
I just want to say it's been a pleasure to serve. It's been an honor to be part of this team for the last 3 years, and it was exciting last night to see so many people sign up to be on various committees. And just going forward, it would be great as we see more people put their name in the hat to vote for board members as well. It's great to serve this community, be a member and have a voice, and to hear from so many of you. It's just been truly a pleasure. And Ellen, you said summarized very well, so there's not much more I can add other than to say thank you for your trust in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I want to also thank you. It's the three of us, we ran 3 years together, and we brainstormed with each other quite often, and I was really sad to learn Brian was leaving. However, he's not really leaving. He negotiated with me for a nominal fee. He'll stay on, and I can still send him and ask questions. So he wants to be paid, but I did have a 10-minute speech, but as you could tell from our park president, he came along and asked each of us to give up 5 minutes of our speech so that he could talk, and he used quite a bit of it. Ellen was the only one that didn't give it up. But seriously, it's been an honor for me to, a lot of friends ask me what I do, and I just love being involved. You know, it's just something that we can give back, and this board does do a great job in communicating and working through issues, and I just want to say thank you to you again for voting for me 3 years ago, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Jim?
Is it not? There we go. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is my 4th year on the board. This has been a very motivated, involved board. We tend to have more meetings than most people know about. My wife knows about them because she once in a while, I'm always leaving for another meeting. I also serve on the Long Range Planning Committee, which, as the board liaison, which is the committee that looks ahead to what the park is going to need in the future. And that's a never-changing thing. And we've also learned that projected costs at one time are not where today's inflationary markets are. So it's always a challenge to try and keep up with what's going on. But this board has been a real pleasure to work with, and I'm glad I've got 2 more years to work with them. And other than that, I cede the rest of my time to the park president.
And now we'll hear from Stephanie, our newest member.
I started last summer as the lake chairperson, and that was my first involvement in the inner workings of the park, and I really enjoyed it. December I started on the board, and it's been an honor to serve on the board. It's been an honor to serve the park, and my little taste made me want to go up for re-election again and continue involvement. I appreciate everybody's input here, and I also think that it's great to have maybe a younger voice with younger kids on the board. I have teenagers in the park running around on golf carts, working in the rec station, working for Dairy Dip, and it's been a big part of my family, raising my children here, and I want to continue to represent all families, and it's just been wonderful to be a part of it. Thank you.
Jim?
Okay, I think I'm good. I don't have much to say either. It's a privilege. I grew up here as a kid, and we've been here ever since. That's many, many, many years in the park. And I was one of those people that just enjoyed my head place. I didn't get involved in committees. I didn't even know who was on the board. And once I decided, with a little twist from Jean, decided to run for the board, kicking and screaming. It's just a privilege, and these people are just wonderful to work with, and being on committees, it's a joy. It's a joy to be a part of this, to learn. I would just encourage anyone to get on a committee. You learn so much about this beautiful place. And I just joined the pool committee, and that's another kind of fun thing to be on, to look at all the options that we could do to have more aquatic amenities in the park. I'm also on the finance committee, and I enjoyed that also, and thank you for giving me your trust in that area, and I appreciate every one of you. Thank you.
Paul?
I'd like to thank everyone on this board as well as previous boards. I see a number of former board members as well. Ones that in the recent past have had the fiscal acumen, as it were, to really make sure that we stay fiscally responsible, and not because we have savings well, let's go spend it on something. Let's be somewhat conservative, at least be fiscally smart to save for rainy days, like, never know. Could be an air raid, you have to save for anything. You couldn't have timed that any better.
I didn't time it.
So when something like COVID happens and all of a sudden so many of the fees that Jeff had alluded to, we're still getting the member fees, but a lot of these other fees just never happen. The camping fees and all these other things that the park really needs to help sustain itself. But because we've been very fiscally responsible in the recent past, we were able to absorb that blow, that and with a lot of help from Kimberly and securing PPP loans. It warms my heart when I see this board continuing that tradition of, hey, we're not going to spend everything we have, we're going to be fiscally responsible, we're going to make informed decisions, we're going to listen to you, and then work as a team together to decide whatever is best for this park. Thank you.
As I finish my very first year here on the board, I'm grateful for the opportunity to represent all the members. It's been a great learning experience. I'm finding out things about the park I never knew, and especially on the operations part, and I'm grateful that you give me the opportunity to serve you.
All right. Well, thank you for the comments, board. This is your time now. Members are free to come up, and we've got a mic up front. Ask any questions that are on your mind. Provide any comments. Should be on.
Paul Bagshman, 332. I would like to thank the board, first of all, for all of your hard work. We really appreciate it as members. One thing I was wondering about, a couple of years ago, before we built the north building, there was discussion of building a South Shore building. Where does that stand? Where would that be built? And what would be a part of that? I know we still go home every time there's a severe storm warning, so we kind of like to see that on our end too.
Is that phase 1 pavilion down that way? Yeah. So good question. We had a engineering company come out and take a look at the phase 1 pavilion to provide us an official state of that building. Still waiting on the written document. During that conversation with maintenance and myself and the company, we got a decision to make on that building. It's 50 years old. Foundation is starting to move a little bit, but for 50 years it's okay. The walkway in front of that is a safety hazard. That all is going to have to come down, and the roof. I know Ben keeps scratching his head on that roof. That roof is in very bad shape. So, we're going to need to make a recommendation. Do we take phase 1 pavilion down and then do a new FEMA building there? And we've had many talks. So, what will we put in there? Some indoor activities. Do we collapse? We'll put some shuffleboards in there, indoor pickleboard, things of that nature. So during the off season, we're looking at some recommendations and some plans, and then we're going to have to decide: do we want to spend money on a 50-year-old building that, with that foundation, may have 3, 5, I don't know how many years left, and it's not real robust for usage, and it's not a designated storm shelter? Or do we want to take that money and tear it down and then build a new storm shelter there for the people in phase 1 and phase 2? So that's kind of where we're at. Don't have timing yet. We need to understand what the cost would be, get some estimates. We'll work on it in the off season.
Would we get FEMA support for that too, if we would go ahead with it?
So, great question. The process with FEMA has been, our grant writer, Steve, he's our expert, The grant that we received here was, I want to say, a state grant. So it was opened up to a state, only state of Michigan. Now that grant writing process has moved to a national process. So we have to write a grant, we have to explain why we want it, where we would put it, we have to submit plans, and then FEMA has to say yes or no. So it's really up to FEMA whether we would get that or not. With the success of the North Shore building, probably a better chance that we could get it, but now that they've opened it up nationally versus around the region, just in the state of Michigan, that adds a little complexity to the decision, so.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Come on, Carolyn.
I'm Carolyn Nielsen, Lot 803, Phase 2. And again, I know the work involved. I've been there years ago. I understand you have a 4-hour Monday working session. So we thank you. I thank you. And I again agree with Ellen. Get on a committee. It's amazing what you learn and what you appreciate what we have. That said,
Thank you, Carolyn, enough.
first of all, I just had a question. This wasn't about the FEMA. Would that FEMA grant influence whether we tear that building down or not? I mean, would we get the grant before we tear the building down, or would we fix it? We don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of the chicken or the egg, right?
Right.
So, I wasn't part of the original process. That would be a Steve question. I don't have an answer unless anybody on the board has an answer for that. I think ideally what I would like to see happen is write a grant, and part of that grant is the tearing down of a building, and then if it doesn't get approved, then what?
Right.
So, but Steve's the expert on that process. I can get back to you.
Okay, that was just a
One thing too,
When Steve writes the grant, he also has to get the support of the township. That's vitally important. They're a connection to the FEMA process. I know that when we tore down the Golden Onion, we did not yet have that funding. We weren't sure what we were going to do, and we actually moved the location of that building a little further away from where the Golden Onion was. But it's a long process, and so, we can find out, from Steve, what his opinion would be on that and get back to you.
Okay, that was just an afterthought.
Yeah, no problem.
The question I do have, hopefully you can help clarify this for me, somebody. The proximity cards, is that what they're called?
Yes.
Next year, that's going into 100%, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, the question I have, we have about 15 children and grandchildren that we...
Congratulations.
Well, we call them and then they come. But they like their little card, which costs us every year $10, which
Yes.
I'm happy to pay. Next year, with the proximity, they will also have to have proximity cards, correct?
Correct.
Is the fee going to go up to cover that?
Yes. It
So,
will.
and next year it'll be like, instead of $10, $15 for,
So I don't have the fees in front. Do you have the fees in front of you? Yeah. It's going to be about $10 to $15.
well, it's 10 now.
15 to 20, I think.
So
15.
15
It'll be 15.
times 15. Okay, that's what I need.
Yeah.
They might
Do
be
you-
paying their own.
Do you need a grant? You want
They
me to
need the carpool.
I can have Steve write you a grant.
All right, thank you, and again, thank you for your service.
Sure, thank you. One quick comment on Carolyn's point. I know Ginny and Kimberly at the Finance Committee, we had one of a new Finance Committee members, probably the second meeting she walked out, she's like, it was phenomenal. She had no idea the level of financial stuff that Ginny and Kimberly did, and it was very enlightening, because you read things on Facebook, you hear things throughout the park, but then when you're actually on a committee and you're learning, you know, what's going on those committees, you're like, yeah, that stuff is not even close to being right. Here's what's actually going on. So get on a committee. We love to have you. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a quick question about, or not a question, comment about Ballard.
Name and lot?
Oh, Elizabeth Milton and 390. The building you're just talking about in phase one, I think sometimes part of this, like this building, the atmosphere is fabulous. And for a stone building, it totally changes the feeling of it. And I think that building has atmosphere. And I wonder about a FEMA building that's just another stone building in a nature center of a sort.
Right. So to answer that question,
You don't even have to answer it, it's basically just...
No, and you bring up a very good point, you bring up a fair point. So some of the stuff that we've been talking about with Steve and some of the engineers that we're working on is, we did a good job with the North Shore building with putting a deck out there on the top, and then putting an additional deck out there with picnic tables. So it brings that atmosphere a little bit better than, a stone indoor building. So how can we do better if we do get another one? So, some of the stuff that we're talking about is how do we expand some of that outdoor stuff? Because the indoor stuff has to meet some specific federal requirements in order to get, federal and state requirements in order to get that funding. But you're right, we want to learn from that North Shore building, and then how do we make it more pleasurable, even if it has to be on the outside.
Okay, that was in relation to the rest of the conversation. Sure. Okay, my next question is in relation to the bridge going over the road, about what is it going to cost the membership? And with that, are we, being it's obviously going to be a major expenditure, are we going to have a chance to vote on it?
So the first answer to your question is the bridge is already in the capital budget, and it's right now it's estimated at 1.2 million. The vote was already taken for the capital reserve budget, so that's when the members voted. And
We voted on budget or on the bridge?
you voted on a capital reserve fund, and part of that capital reserve fund was, here's a list of capital assets that the park is looking to do to improve the park. That bridge was on that list in 2018, 2019, 2020, and part of the process, once that capital reserve fund is voted on and approved by the members, then the board comes and reviews that capital list, and when the board approves and votes on the capital budget, then that's when we start the okay to start spending money.
I didn't quite know what I was voting on. All right, my third question is on phase 4 beach, the North Beach. Okay, I talked to the man who wanted the trees cut down because the ants were getting in his $30,000 pontoon. And in the meantime, senior citizens, people with babies, people on chemo and all that sort of thing have basically no shade and can't use the beach now. And I did talk to you, and you said something is going to happen there, but hopefully another year doesn't have to go by where we don't have any shade still. And I hear a lot of talk about the pool committees, but if you compare our beach to phase 1 beach, they have, pavilions and grass and trees and parking and everything, and ours looks a little desolate.
Right. Understand.
And I would hope that would become a priority, because I know a lot of older people who could get off their golf carts before and get into the shade trees who can't come. we can't walk in the sand that far to that tree way down and so forth. So I wish that would become a priority, and it wouldn't be a high expense, but it certainly would be a convenience.
Understood. Yep. Thank you.
Bill Vanderwall, D165. We've been members here at Sandy Pines for 37 years, and we enjoy it here. More than that, we love it here. But the process, the way some of these things go, isn't always the best. We've had the Golden Onion for 47 years that everybody loved and enjoyed, and it's gone. And evidently, it was never put in the capital improvement budget. That was gone before this stupid bridge ever came about. We're talking, the first time I've ever heard the figure, 1.2 million. That blows it away. I can't think of spending that amount of money when you're ignoring all the people that want a pool. Here we've been without one at the Onion for over 3 years. And I just wonder, where is our pool in relationship to this bridge to nowhere?
Okay, so good question, a couple of comments. Again, as we take a look at our capital list, sometimes those priorities have to change, okay? The pool has been on the list. From what I understand, pool vote went out to the membership. Okay, I don't have the history on it. The pool vote went out to the membership.
It wasn't a standalone vote.
Okay, so again, I don't have the history on it, so it was voted down, okay? So in the meantime, what has shifted the priority is that bridge over there was an accident, there was an incident with a staff member, and our insurance company has highlighted that that's a risk, that's a liability. Okay, we have, you can talk to the local houses around there, they hear screeching marks all the time with people slamming on their brakes because the golf carts cross that road. So we have the insurance company highlighting it as a risk and a liability. We have people coming to us asking for, hey, what are we doing to resolve any potential issues with an accident? So the 1.2 million will be well spent if it avoids a semi-truck coming down that road and taking out 4 kids, 4 grandkids. Then all of a sudden you got 4 deaths, and if anybody here wants to donate their kids for that, let me know. And then the next thing is you got liability on top of that. So this went to the top of the list for a safety reason. And we hear the pool comments all the time. We kicked off the pool committee in 2019. That had to be held up. Again, because most of our committees were stopped in 2020. And now those are getting ratcheted up with a ton of list of great ideas for aquatic amenities. It's not forgotten about, it's on the list, it's in the capital budget. Even if we were to kick off a pool today, what's in that budget from 2017, outdoor pool, not talking about an indoor pool, outdoor pool, $500,000 is on that list. And what Mr. Huck was telling about, that was from 2017, 2018. Cost of an outdoor pool, similar to what we kind of talked about 4 or 5 years ago, is going to be about $750,000, if not more. It's on the list. We got to figure out how to make it happen, because it'll also take capacity issues out of the water park, and that's where we get a lot of, hey, I'm tired of standing in line. What can we do to get another pool so I don't have to stand in line here? I don't have to drive from phase 1 and 2 over to the water park that I have to stand in line for. It's on the list. We're trying to figure out a solution for it, but right now that park bridge, if it's 1.2 million or whatever that dollar amount is, it hasn't happened yet, and I get that all the time. We haven't had an accident yet, but I don't know. I don't want to donate my kids or grandkids to an accident there. It's got to be taken care of, and then we move on to the next project.
Nobody wants to place a value on a human life, but in retrospect, looking back 50 years, we haven't had a fatality.
Understand, but we also haven't had that volume of traffic increase for trucking in 50 years until the last 3 years.
I don't know how many of you are familiar with Hope College in Holland, but they have a crossing for pedestrians there at Hope College.
We presented that to Allegheny County and they shut it down.
For what reason?
One, again, commercial trucking coming down that road. If you're talking about in between Hope College and Main Street, well, the speed limit there is 25 to 35 miles an hour. You have commercial trucks coming down that road at 65 to 70 miles an hour. And then you put a median in there with a flashing light with a commercial truck trying to slow down because there's a golf cart there. Not gonna happen. They won't sign off on it.
You can see those lights for a mile.
I understand, but the Allegheny County would not approve that.
That's a county road. They're not gonna allow
They're not
that.
gonna
We've proposed those ideas, several ideas, crossings, and county and township would not support them. And the safety of our members is paramount here. We can't replace people. And we have campers coming back and forth. It's a matter of time. I personally have seen kids on bikes barely missing getting hit crossing that bridge because I live in nowhere. And when I come across, I've seen a lot of close calls, and I worry about people coming back and forth, and we have a pool over there. And as far as the pools go, we really are looking at what we can do with that Phase 4 area. And we're also looking at Phase 2, and we should be able to come up with some water amenities out of the Capital Reserve Fund.
I've heard that at several meetings, but I've never heard a time frame.
When we get plans and we can narrow things down, we will give a time frame. We're working on it.
But if you take a 1.2 million out of the budget, it doesn't leave much for the pools.
We've been accumulating that money every year that we vote on that capital budget. We accumulate money for that bridge and we roll it over. So every year there's money added. So we're looking at it and we think we can do it.
When though? What's the time frame?
So here's what we can tell you. One thing that I don't know that has taken place was 2 weeks ago, again, pool committee members and myself went to Holland Aquatics and we took a look at, they're doing a $26 million expansion. And we got a lot of good ideas, whether it's an indoor or an outdoor. Last week, we took a construction company through our park to help us identify if we want to do an indoor or an outdoor pool, where would we do it? Give us some cost estimates. So they're identifying areas that we could put pools in. They're going to try and identify some costs for us. We've heard the membership that we need. It's been on the list forever, and I understand your frustration. So we've actually had a company come out here and take a look at the park. Where could we, even if it's a small pool, large pool, another water park, pool with splash pads, they're going to come up with some recommendations for us and some costs. If we were to kick that off today, a lot of these pool companies are already booked through 2023. So timing, is it going to be next year? No. Would it be the following year? Possibly. Is it going to be the following year after that? But I know when we kicked off the pool committee, we had a list of ideas, we halted it, we're dusting off that list, and we're actually bringing construction companies through here to give us some ideas where we can put these aquatic amenities, because we need them. And our demographics are shifting where more younger families are coming in with children. So we identify the need, we know it's there.
Well, I think that need has been identified over 3 years ago. Now you're seeing it's going to be 5, 6, 7 years before we might have one. And I think that's poor planning on your part.
Well, I disagree, so you have a difference of opinion.
Well, I think if you'd have some membership, I think they'd rather have a pool, and they'd like to have it ASAP rather than, 7 years after the fact.
Yep, thank you. Hey, Brian.
Hello. Brian St. Ange. 8 years ago, we bought site 833, and then we get depressed when we had to go home, so I bought a condo across the street, in case you didn't know, John.
Across the street?
Right across the street. So that's all the depression we ought to leave anymore. It's cool. But anyway, forgot what I was gonna say out there.
That you
Boat
look-
stakes. No, I don't wanna talk about boat stakes at all. Somebody else will probably talk about that. You mentioned earlier about like campers and the safety aspects and stuff.
Yep.
We all know how important campers are to the park. A lot of times they become members down the road. I remember years ago, Don Delano, one of our esteemed members, was an ambassador to the campers. Do we still have that program going on?
Yes and no.
Where a member like
Yeah.
greets them and gives them like, you know, some of the basic rules of the park.
So Kathy Brott, who leads our camping, she has a group of volunteers, and again, volunteers are awesome here. They'll go to the different campsites, and they'll periodically go hand out flyers and things of that nature. My opinion is I think we need to ramp it up though.
Okay.
So I don't know what it was before, like what we have now, but I think it could be better.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I know a couple of members that would be fantastic at doing that, and they both want to volunteer
Okay.
next year. So who should they contact?
Kathy Brott.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Diane Rhonda, N160. I just have a couple questions. In the past, we have stocked this lake with some fish, and it's been a while, I believe. Are there any plans to stock the lake with fish?
It's in the budget, yeah. So
Did anything happen this year with that?
I don't think we stocked it this year.
So it's not a yearly thing, okay.
No.
I have a follow-up question on her proximity cards, because everybody's so confused about those. And so can you tell me, so everyone knows, when, you said next year that's going to come into play?
Yep.
Are we talking Memorial Day? Are we talking 4th of July?
Right.
What are we talking?
Oh, good question. We had this question at a face-to-face, and if you weren't there. So here's what we're gonna do. On your renewals for next year, there is no longer gonna be a mag card option or mag card fee. You're automatically gonna get billed for a Prox chip card. And throughout the season, you have until the end of the season, which is October, to move from your mag card to your Prox chip card, okay? We are also ramping up because some of the questions about, public safety, appointments, or they're busy checking people in, I can't get in to get a new card. We already have a card printer in our sales department. We're gonna get another card printer in our number service department. So now you have 3 areas to go get your Prox cards. Although we love the way, Brian looks when he was 16 years old with his first picture here, and that's still being used today on his card, we're gonna have new pictures. When you get your new Prox card, we're gonna get and ask for updated pictures as well. So we're gonna have 3 options where you can get them, and you have the entire season to get out of your mag cards and your Prox cards.
Okay, when I had to get a new mag card, because my other one broke, I was charged $8 for that card. Now, and I also pay for the renewal on that. So my associate members who don't have mag cards, am I going to be charged $8 for them to move over to a mag card, and then the $15 for their mag card?
When you move from your mag card to your Prox card.
Excuse me, yes, yes.
So if you go and do that today, are you talking about switching that in today and then at the renewal?
I'm talking about next year, my mag card associate members have to get a Prox card. Am I gonna pay $8 for them to go from that mag card to that Prox card?
No, because you've already been billed on your renewal for a Prox card, and we'll have that in the system. So your renewal, if you have a mag card today, and your renewal comes out, it'll be in the system that you've been charged $15 for a Prox card. So when you come in and give your mag card, you will get your prox card because you've already paid for it. You're not gonna get hit another $8.
Okay, and then I have a Prox card now, so is my renewal gonna be $15 for that? Yes. So I'm not gonna get hit with that nobody's gonna get hit with that $8 to change their people over.
The only time you're gonna get hit with that $8 is if you lose it and you gotta get a new one, right?
Or it breaks.
Or-
The one you have breaks and you have to replace it. Okay,
Because you're already gonna get billed on your renewal.
okay,
Okay?
it's on video.
It's on video.
Thank you. You asked the other question.
Oh, hold on, Carolyn, hold on, we had this.
Can I say one thing about that? Diane, if you decide that you want to switch your MAG card to a Prox card this season, before the renewal comes due, you will get hit with that $8 fee. Okay? I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So if you wait until next year, if you have a MAG card, which is the one with the stripe that goes like this, if you have that, if you want to wait until next year to get your new Prox card, you won't be charged that extra fee. I just want that to be clear, because we have, not quite 15, but I have a lot too. I'm close. And I know Brian has a few too. So we're waiting until next year because we'll pay the fee then.
Mary Larson, K296. In regards to that, I have a grandson coming in next week who needs to get a new card because he lost his. What will he be paying? Should he go to the Prox card then?
Yeah, my recommendation is go to the Prox card, and it'll be $8.
Okay. All right, my other comment is, I've been here 33 years, so I was here when the pool was open year-round, inside pool was open year-round. It was wonderful, and then of course with everything that's happened through the years and cost, they had to close it down in the wintertime. As far as a new indoor pool, if we aren't going to have it open only from Memorial Day to Labor Day, there's no point in having an indoor pool for the cost of it. If we could keep it open from even April 15th to October 15th or October 30th, that would be great. And I realize there's a problem with lifeguards, but this is something that needs to be taken into consideration.
Agreed, thank you. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, just to clarify, again, these proximity cards, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The way I understand it right now, we get one card, membership card, not a recreational card, your membership card that is included in our renewal.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
that's still the case, right? One membership card.
That we do not pay extra for. I pay extra for all my 15, but that one, and so that will be a proximity card then? And it will not be additional. So next year I can drop all my 15 and I won't be charged anything extra because I'll get that free.
Yeah.
Not free, it's in our membership.
Right,
That's-
so, yeah, there's no MAG card option at all. right?
I
So-
agree, but the
Yeah,
one that they
yeah, one
renew every year that's included in our membership, that will be a MAG card and won't be an additional cost.
It'll be a Prox card, and it won't be.
A Prox card.
I know, and,
And it won't be an additional cost.
yeah, nothing should be changing on the renewal process.
Super. I have to change Christmas gifts.
Jeff, I do have a question on that, and I'm glad you brought that up. I know that we have Prox cards and have had them for a few years, and we are charged $5. So is that
the
gonna?
MAG card fee was with the membership, but the $5 was the additional from the 10 to 15. I don't think we really discussed fully operationally that difference.
Okay, I just wondered if we're still gonna get 5 or
Yeah,
0, or that hasn't been decided yet.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, Carolyn, I think we're gonna have to have that as a takeaway discussion, but we'll get back to the membership on it, because I think you will notice last year, if you had a proximity card, you were charged $5 for that renewal rather than completely for free. And we haven't rolled that all the way through, which will be consideration in the next budget review. But I do a clarification too on the replacement of the cards. If you do not have your card with you and you are not turning a card in, it is actually $15. It's like a new card. Is that correct? And then, but if you do have your card with you because it's broke or damaged, that is the $8. So I just wanted to make that clarification for you. If you have the card with you because it's damaged, that's the $8 replacement fee.
If it's a swap, so 1 for 1. If you completely lose it, then it's 15.
In relation with Elizabeth Milton and Trinity, I have a round magnet. Check. Okay, I have a round magnet card on the back of my
You have
card.
this?
Yeah.
This is a Prox card still. This will still work. The new cards that are coming out, this is shrunk down and actually embedded in the card. So there's no disc on the back. The chip is inside, almost like your credit card or your debit card that has a chip on it.
Right.
So that's what the new ones will be. Sorry, I didn't allow you to ask your question.
You did answer it, but so then I'll turn in my card like that for the other one?
This will still be usable. So the only ones that are going away is this disc, gone, and it just has the mag stripe on it. These are still going to be used. So I use this at the North Shore building, and it's just put it up and it opens the doors, put it up at the gate. If you have a disc on the back like this is still usable. This is a Prox card. The new technology has gone from this to putting this in a small chip inside. Okay?
You had indicated one of the reasons for the bridge over to phase 3 was the liability issue. How is that different than all the traffic that crosses over to the trash and junkyard? And, you know, my grandkids cross over here, not over there. So if the insurance company is making a fuss over there, why hasn't there been a similar fuss?
Yep, no, good question. 2 reasons. Volume of traffic, speed of traffic. So the volume of traffic coming down this road and the speed of that traffic. Volume is significantly more coming down here, and the speed of the traffic is significantly faster than going in front of the main gate in the condos. Because that traffic is coming around the curves at a slower rate, and then as they're coming the other way, they gotta slow down because they go around the curves.
You need to walk around there more often because they're flying through those curves and they're, you know. So anyway,
I'm there on a regular basis. That was the assessment. Because the other question that we asked is, okay, well, what about going over to Monterey Pines? Going over there. That's a choice the members make. We're not forcing the members to go to Monterey Pines to go by. We are having, and we are forcing people from phase 3 to come across that street into our park, or going over there for swimming lessons, for using the pools, for...
It's the same for the condo folks. I mean, if we're going to use the park, we got to cross the road. So
Okay.
it just seemed like there
Agreed.
was a discrepancy there.
No, understand. And that question was asked of our insurance company, and that's the reason that we've been provided is the commercial traffic, the speed, and the quantity going down this road in between phase 3 and 6 is significantly higher and more dangerous than going in between the main gate.
Interesting qualification there, I guess.
All right, any other questions? Nope.
Roger Corser, 798. Lost the towns in an accident. Had to give $1.2 million to you back.
question in regards to the bridge. Has it ever been proposed that, say, we could give an assessment to the county if they vacate the road between the 236, shut the road off, and say give them $20,000 a year? I mean, is that something that the county,
I can't say that that proposal has been presented to them. I know I haven't presented that proposal to them. I can say this, that the county is only looking to approve our solution across that road. It's not a county issue. It's a private entity, Sandy Pines issue, and that's been the discussions that we've had with them. So I can take a look and see if that proposal has been presented.
I mean, if they could vacate it, it'd be an awesome thing for Sandy Pines.
And again, with the, you can only ask, right? And if they say no, they say no. So, thank you.
I'm Carol from D166. I don't have any complaints. I don't care about proximity cards. I just pay the bill when it comes. I know everybody can't do that. But I do have one thing I would like to say. In the 11 years that we've been here, I've never went to a board member about any issue, but this year I did. And I was extremely troubled. And my daughter said, if you're that troubled, you need to go to a board member. So I did. I went to 2 board members. And the response I got from the board members, I will never forget. It was incredible. The care they showed to me in my distress and the kindness they showed to the people that were involved was just more than I can even express. So I just want to say a great, great thank you to this precious board that we have.
Okay, we're about 25 minutes over. I think, looking at the crowd, I think we've got all the questions. Again, thank you for the Q&A, thank you for the questions. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody coming out today on a hot, sticky day. Thank you for allowing me, my staff, to serve you guys. And again, thank you to the board. They're doing a great job supporting all of us. So, all right, have a good day.